you looked at that. Just curious.
Yeah, no, it's more a projection, but we would sort of shoot for as little as 15% of it, sort of making it all the way to the south, and would want so if you have about 4 or 5 different alternate routes, you would want, each one handling the 15 to 20% that it would take of the different routes. So for a lot of folks, it depends on sort of the ultimate destination. A lot of that, a good chunk of that, probably around 15% already, is destined for the west side of Union Square. There are a lot of generators there, some nightlife uses, restaurant, retail uses. So 18th Street is not an option, and Broadway is not an option. So 5th Avenue will be the route there. So that takes a big chunk out of it to begin with.
Comment? I think traffic studies was thorough, and that it's experimental in nature with follow-up. I think it's a strong proposal.
Gene.
A comment to, first of all, I think it was last month that we spoke about 34th Street being was closed down. I think now besides my initial concerns about the fact that I don't know if we're even allowed to do this legally on Broadway, is that we're looking at 23rd Street becoming a major thoroughfare because 34th Street is going to be closed down pretty much. Now we're going to have 23rd Street becoming a major thoroughfare, and we're going to have more traffic coming off 23rd Street downtown there because that's 23rd Street. So, what I'd like to see, and since both are DOT, I'd like to see how traffic patterns are usually affected, and I'd like to see a joint presentation on that. Because we're talking about, remember we were talking about 42nd, 34th Street being closed down. I think it was in the papers today. Now we're gonna have 23rd Street that's gonna be completely bombarded, and we're talking about and I love the fact that Broadway is gonna be more for local access. We narrowed it down to 2 lanes. Now we want to narrow it down to 1 lane.
Well, let me just say this. I'd like to hear your comments about this, but as you know, last November we passed a resolution requesting a comprehensive study for a comprehensive surface transportation plan for just this reason. Community Board 4 has passed a similar resolution, and I believe Community Board 6 will be passing that same resolution next month, all asking and addressing that very concern, because all these projects are major and have to affect one another, so we shouldn't be thinking about this on an ad hoc basis. But having said that,
exactly.
What are your thoughts about this specific
and the second thing is,
project?
I think Park Avenue is unique, is because Park Avenue, I have a unique opportunity. Park Avenue is very unique because it's two ways. 5th Avenue, Madison, Lexington, 3rd, 2nd, or 3rd for, there's a little part of it that's 2 way. Most of them are 1 way. The Park Avenue, even though you have signals there that you cannot turn left, you cannot turn right, opposed to like Broadway, Uptown, you do not have bays where people can't wait for the left turn or for the right turn. So it backs up traffic over there. So where you have, you're going to close down Broadway, and you're going to have, I think the transportation term was, you were talking about spillover. I mean, the spillover going in, 3 or 4 directions on 17th Street going north, on 18th Street going south, and then on 20th, which is right around Gramercy Park. I mean, you're talking about pretty much like shutting down, like Park Avenue, just because of its unique nature of the fact that it's 2 way, and that you're going to have people turning off the left lane. Like if you're going north, people are going to be turning north, like on 19th Street, and also like south, south on 18th Street, south on 20th. That there's going to be spillover. What happens with spillover is that then you can't have through traffic that gets through. The classic term was, blocking the box. So 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, all the way to 23rd Street on Park Avenue South is going to be major spillover.
So you're saying because there's now Broadway will be reduced to 1 lane, it has to go somewhere, and so you're just sort of transporting.
And
the
you're closing down
problem
17th Street because it's not going to be. 17th Street's not going to be going anywhere. So
Feel free to-
Yeah, the comment again, that the traffic management principle here is that Union Square and Park Avenue South sort of suffer at Union Square because you have two through streets sort of combining together. Everybody gets down there too easily. So southbound Broadway is in essence between 23rd and 17th. It's too efficient. You don't hit any delay. You get to 17th and Park Avenue South, and we have these each two-lane streets sort of combining together. And that makes that hurts Park Avenue South. So the idea, by making Broadway a local access street, again, it's a bit counterintuitive, but by not having those lanes of traffic combine at Union Square, that it's this notion of, we use the term sometimes feathering, where you actually keep the bottleneck from happening by sort of slowing the traffic and dispersing it before it gets to the bottleneck. So by not having it combined at Park Avenue South should actually be better. I agree wholeheartedly that the left turns are the issue. We have a number of restrictions. Sometimes it's just peak hours, but it's changed. And if you guys have opinions about Park Avenue South's turns, local access patterns, we would really like to hear it, because a lot of those turn restrictions might be 4 to 7, but now it's all restaurants and folks are trying to turn left and the congestion's worse then, and maybe we should do an all-day left turn restriction, that sort of thing. But the left turns, I agree with you 100%.
So, G, to wrap it up, are you saying that you're not in support of a resolution for this plan, or are you? What's your?
I at this present time, with the information I have, I would not be in support of a resolution for this plan. Also, as far as pedestrian traffic, and I see this uptown, because of the illegal turns, and I agree that they're illegal, that you could put restrictions there. People are still going to try to turn over there. The kind of car accidents that you have because people are turning in mid-block with other thorough streets coming there, it's ridiculous. And pedestrians, how many pedestrians get hit over there? You know what? If you're gonna do this, you might as well make Park Avenue one way. Maybe it'll work, or maybe it'll be more efficient because of the unique way that Park Avenue is. It's a major thoroughfare that goes in two directions. Either barricade it off, but then you're not gonna have thorough traffic. I mean, people are gonna try to turn, even though you make restrictions. It gets to be a very, very dangerous situation. I mean, I know that uptown, you constantly. I live on Lexington. I live a little right on Park Avenue. You constantly see. I wake up and I jog in the morning. You constantly see cars inside of buildings on Park Avenue because somebody's flying up, somebody's going down. Somebody's making an illegal left turn and they're hitting it. So.
GSF.
I've actually, I hear what everybody has to say. I think that I found it well thought out in theory. I would welcome this as a pilot program to be monitored. However, monitored very, very often, and then you modify it as it needs to be modified, including not doing it if it fails.
Okay.
The problem that this is in response to is a very big problem, and I think it needs a big and aggressive solution. And I agree with Giuseppe that I'd be in support of this and as a pilot project, but I'd like our resolution to explicitly flag the concern about 18th Street with the hope that with the hope that if problems get identified before the pilot is done, that the adjustments can be made right away and not necessarily wait until the pilot is done, particularly with concerns for quality of life and obviously safety. But it's a very serious problem down there, and I really applaud the sort of bold approach that this is taking.